Hello, everybody, and welcome to Real Madrid Hub, your source for Real Madrid news. I am your host, Eric Rivera. And well, lately, a lot of things have been said about Marco Asensio. So Asensio has been on the newspapers, in the headlines these last few days. Of course, since his goal that took the Spanish national team to the finals of the Olympics. And, you know, a lot of people are talking about him, and essentially, was this a revindication for him? Was this, you know, the opportunity for him to start shining again? And well, you know, it's kind of, I mean, for some people, I mean, I saw some comments the other day on when we reported some of this news. Some of you guys were saying, I mean, it's one goal. You know, one goal doesn't change the fact that he hasn't performed for quite some time now, especially for club and then now for country, except for this one goal. Essentially, is this a moment, you know, that he's going to shut everybody up? But the thing is, Marco Asensio has sort of demonstrated this talent before, in a sense that he has spurts of talent. He has lightning in a bottle, as you would say, of talent, where he has these moments of genius and essentially can score goals and make incredible plays, but then disappears for many games on end. And we all know, you know, that what makes a player a world-class player is consistency, the ability to continue to play well day in and day out, even when they're bad days. Even when they have bad days, they're essentially not terrible. They're essentially still visible, but maybe won't score goals, not have as many, key passes, that kind of thing. But otherwise, they're pretty consistent throughout their career. And Asensio has been anything but that, you know. And one of those things is, you know, if you look at the value of Asensio as he moved, obviously, from Mallorca and then through to Real Madrid and then to Espanyol and then coming back to Real Madrid, you know, essentially he was a player that had a skyrocketing value. If you look from 2017 to maybe 2019, essentially reaching the mark where, you know, he was valued at about 100 million euros, you know. And then in the last year, ever since his injury and then continuing on after that, he's dropped in value exponentially. So much so that he's now valued at less than 50 million euros. I would say probably around 30 million, 40 million euros in between. And that would all be negotiable. So it's a really huge loss in his value for Real Madrid, and of course for any other club, is essentially, you know, what would this mean for his future at Real Madrid? I mean, he's not somebody that Real Madrid can get a lot of money for, but they would be willing to make space, of course, to sell him if they could get a good price for him. But, you know, what's going to happen with him at Real Madrid, you know, with this season? I mean, there's a lot of people that already Madridistas prefer Bale. You know, there was a poll on El Chiringuito the other day asking Madridistas if they preferred to have Bale start over Asensio, and Bale was the winner. I mean, as much as Madridistas dislike Bale's attitude, and some people were angry at the fact that was, you know, that poll was even made, but let's be real. I mean, essentially, Bale has been a far more, you know, important player throughout his entire career at this point. Obviously, he's older than Asensio, but he's been far more influential when he's played than Asensio has been when he's played. And that is with a player who's, you know, had a lot of injury problems throughout his entire career, talking about Bale. So it's really interesting to see and what's going to happen this season, because when he comes back, he's definitely going to have to fight for that space against somebody who Ancelotti is already putting his faith in. And a player who wants to showcase, you know, essentially Bale, who wants to showcase that this being his final season with Madrid, is going to demonstrate, hey, you know, this is what I can do for the team. And, you know, he's going to have to fight with that with Asensio. And, Asensio is going to have to deal with that. Obviously, you know, you have the Lucas Vázquez there as well, who has demonstrated to be a solid player and consistently reliable when we need him to be. So, you know, what does that mean for the future of Asensio? You know, and his market value continues to go down. And, even if he does something big, like what he did in the Olympics, does that change anything at this point? We don't know. But that's the news on Asensio and essentially, what can happen with him at Real Madrid and his future. A lot of things up in the air for the Spanish player, and we'll see what happens this season at Real Madrid. That is the news I have for now for Real Madrid News. Please subscribe here to Real Madrid Hub, and thank you for listening.